Ducklings, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 50. I'm, of course, just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Bienvenidos. Whew, it's been a long, very long day. We just, of course, wrapped up with my assist of the game. It was a 10-hour cast, and I was not in a good place. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to sleep before the cast, so I was up basically 24 hours. I was up 24 hours, and as a result, I will say that, I mean, most of it was good, but there was definitely moments there where my casting was lackluster, where I was like passing out or just having a hard time really keeping focus. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize. Again, I was not really expecting it to be that long of a broadcast. I was expecting it to be like around 6 hours, but it went up to 10. And again, like I was unable to get any sleep beforehand either. So I do apologize. But regardless, we still have more StarCraft ahead of us. We have, of course, the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup is a regular weekly tournament on Tuesdays. But of course, we have been unable to cover this event for the past couple of weeks, and we do have replays. We have replays to cover here and now. And typically, we are live at this hour with Sparkling Tuna Cup. But Tuna Cup has been moved to Tuesday this week. Why is that? Well, this week is the monthly finals for September for Sparkling Tuna Cup, and it does include players that are traveling from Paris, from France. Like, there are players that are Hero specifically. Hero, he went to Paris, of course. He went to France to compete, to play in my assist of the game, and he is currently mid-flight. He's currently mid-flight. He is unable to compete. Once he returns to Korea, which should be tomorrow, well, then the day after, he should be good to play and compete in the Tuna Cup. So that's why we did accommodate. It did move the Tuna Cup over to Tuesday instead. That should allow the players to have plenty of time to get back home, to rest up, and then to get ready for some more matches, some more StarCraft. So that is why this evening broadcast was available, and we're able to catch up with some replays of the PiGosaur Cup. Let's go. Now, I don't have too many, I'll be honest. I only have one semifinals match and then the grand finals thereafter, so I don't really have many matches available here tonight. So it should be a bit of a shorter broadcast, which I'm more than happy to embrace, just because, again, yesterday's cast was so long. And we also have some viewer replay casts. Oh, sorry, some viewer replays to cover as well. I guess the PiGosaur Cup was not played on the PTR. No, it was not played on the PTR. Also, I should emphasize that for the Tuna Cup, that's also not going to be on the PTR. But if the maps are made available, then we will be covering. Then we will be hosting that event on the TLMC 21 maps. Which I don't think have been uploaded yet, unfortunately. But once the TLMC 21 maps... Oh, no, they're good. Oh, let's go. Alright, hold on. Okay, so we have confirmation. So the TLMC 21 maps have been uploaded to the arcade, which means we will be hosting our tournaments here on moving forward on the TLMC 21 maps. So there you go. There you go. So that should be Tuna Cup. Tuna Cup over on Tuesdays. We have that at least. In regards to the PTR, we won't be hosting the Tuna Cup on the PTR just because it's the monthly finals, and it's kind of weird to build up to the monthly finals and then have that on the PTR. But the weeklies thereafter will be on the PTR, just as a heads up, as what's going to be going on. Otherwise, we have our first series, we have our first matchup. Here we go. Should we send a guest up? Yeah, I just checked. I checked, I think it was yesterday, and they weren't up yet, unfortunately, so I was a little bit, I wasn't too certain of it, but yes, they are now available, so we are going to be using that moving forward when it comes to our Tuna Cups, and probably rotating a couple of apps in and out whenever we can. That is the plan. That's a S to A, Vex, man. Aye. For now, though, we're going to be jumping into our first series of the broadcast. Going to be jumping into MaxPax versus a Creator in a PvP. That have been trading, that have been going back and forth. Again, PvP is a lot more in flux in recent times and recent meta. Of course, thanks to the NG overcharge, a lot has changed in PvP, especially involving this player here. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself from South Korea. It is a Creator. I was mentioning Kanto about it because people were asking me to do some aesthetic touch-ups. I needed the QA cards. Oh, there you go. It might be 3. Yes, get some sleep. You're an animal, Bob. You're an animal. But bienvenidos to all those that are now tuning in, and of course we're jumping into our PvP. Now again, if you have not been watching MaxPax over the past 4 months, MaxPax, he has been changing his PvP quite a bit. In the past, he was known for doing one thing and one thing only. Gate into Cybercore, into Stargate, into an expansion, but that has been changing in recent months, or that did just straight up change in recent months, just because of the meta shifting. MaxPax, his best matchup, he had the best PvP in the world for many years, but that quickly fell by the wayside. It became his worst matchup as he was struggling to keep up with the meta, and now he has embraced something else. I say that's gonna have to eat my words here as we're waiting for the gateway. So Gate Cyber setup here, 2 gate opener out of Creator, and MaxPax, he's going back and reverting to that faster Cybercore. So this is a really greedy start here out of MaxPax. Creator, he's gonna attempt to punish, going for what? Going for the proxy. Pylon has been thrown down, Cybercore is almost done. This should be a proxy rover, this should be a 1 base all-in to punish MaxPax. Again, I haven't seen MaxPax go for this build and go for this opener in quite some time. I'm a little bit surprised. Maybe he's overconfident doing it here against Creator. I mean, there are still ways to defend here, but this is going to be a weaker defense than we're used to seeing in years past. As Creator is setting up, ooh, not going for the robo, going for the gateway. Okay, going for a 3-gate opener here is going to be hyper aggressive, not the way that we had assumed, not with Immortals, not with the Prism. Zeld first, do have Zeld first here out of MaxPax. Getting the Stargate up in the main base. From here, he should be making Void Rays. Typically, he does go Oracle first and then into Void Rays. The Oracle should be to scout across the map, to scout and to figure out what's going on, to harass and to force supply to be stuck at home. As MaxPax did probe scout, he is aware that the pylon is missing. Despite that, he is expanding. And you can see the Zeld is looking, right? He's searching for the pylon, he's searching for the proxy. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to figure out how dedicated this is. So it does fan out. We'll see if he does go for the Oracle first, or the Void Ray. He finds it! Yeah, it does find the gateway. Stalker's being chronoed. We're rallying across the map. A Mass Stalker here out of Creator. The Oracle's going to be on the way. As you mentioned, the Oracle is designed to get across the map to force some Warpins back at home instead. To slow down this push. This Creator is poking in. Oh. Does poke in. Getting on top of the Zealots. Zealot's going to be tanking, and does tank well. Does tank well. The Zealot does get picked up though. The Oracle can actually go for the dive on that Stalker. I tempted. Was definitely tempted. And now we're to 5 Stalkers. We have 2 more reinforcing. Creator, he's aware of the Oracle. And there's the energy overcharge again, keeping that Adept alive. Oracle does hit the main. Shield battery is ready. We should be going for the stasis. Ooh, does activate the pulsar beam. Shield battery goes down, and Creator, he's going up the ramp. Ooh, he will lose 1 Stalker. Yeah, Void Ray has arrived. Down goes 1. Shield battery finished up just in time. And we gotta respect the Void Ray. Ooh, losing almost another Stalker. Casito. Casito, baby, as the Oracle goes hand. That's going to be 10 probes going down. That is critical damage, and what you see is what you get. I mean, Creator, he was already all in, but the Oracle gets 11 probe kills across the map. Creator, he did not leave Stalkers at home to defend. And now it's all or nothing. Does get the pylon. There's no backup pylon. Shield batteries are going down. Oh. But now we're up to 2 Void Rays. Here up to 2. Shield batteries depowered. There's a sentry and a force field. Speaking of, ooh, does catch 2 Stalkers. Not bad. 2 Stalkers getting called out. And both of them should go down. That's high HP Stalkers as well. But Creator, he still has how many? 11 Stalkers. Ooh, another force field. Yeah, brutal force fields. Void Rays are hanging on. Taking a lot of damage actually, but they'll take down another 2 Stalkers. Another pair full. And no more force field. Yeah, there's no more force field. The Creator is forcing his way up the ramp. It was not the cleanest all in. He's forcing his way in. Oh, the boys are doing a great job here, just tying this up. Void Ray goes down to 1. Down to 1 Void Ray. There's the energy overcharge, or the prismatic alignment. Oh, can he kill the Void Ray? He cannot. Oh, barely goes down. Barely does fall. And Creator, he takes on every single probe in the main. There's 1 Stalker left. Getting very close, very clutch. The final Stalker should be hunted down. And Creator's done it. Creator, he has done it. There's 1 Stalker left with the shield battery. There's the energy overcharge. Oh, Creator, he has to be careful. Yeah, he's so careful here. Does pull back, does pull away. Wasting more energy. MaxPax down to 3 probes. And GG. GG gets called. Creator, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Hi. GG, well played. Creator, he takes the lead in the series. Again, I was very surprised to see MaxPax revert back to going for a gate into Cybercore. Despite that, still almost did work, as he was able to deal crippling damage with the Oracle. I was very impressed. If it wasn't for that Oracle, that game would have been much more one-sided. So the Oracle did stifle any reinforcements, did delay the all-in, and did weaken Creator quite heavily. But despite that, Creator, he was still able to take control of the low ground, able to take down the shield batteries, able to zone away the Void Rays, and take over the game. GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator takes the lead in the series, and now we're getting to game number 2. What happened to the Oracle after killing those 11 probes? It was still alive. It was still alive, but there were now defensive Stalkers back at home. So the Oracle kept trying to go back in, pulling out, and wasn't really... It was at least tying up supply, but it wasn't killing much else. Like, it was still across the map. We panned over for a second, where it was still across the map, and there were Stalkers that were, like, zoning it away. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is a Creator. Go. Whew. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. And we're expecting we're expecting MaxPax to calm down and go for a 2-gate opener, but we'll keep an eye on our blue Protoss player. There we go, 2-gate opener. So this now goes into what we were saying at the very start of the series. Like, it was kind of nullified in the previous game, just because we saw that MaxPax did revert back to gate Cybercore. But this is a 2-gate opener, and this is for the most part what MaxPax has been going for the past 3 to 4 months. He has stopped going for Gate Cybercore. He has had very minimal success going Gate Cyber Stargate. So now back to 2-gate openers, just like everyone else. Meanwhile, Creator going for a fake proxy. I assume fake proxy just because it's so far away. We'll see if we commit into something greater here. Into a proxy Stargate, for example, then into an Oracle across the map. We'll see if he does stick around or if he does abandon the pylon. And the answer is he will abandon. So again, fake pylon. Fake proxy out of our red Protoss player. MaxPax with his probe scout, he's aware that the pylon is missing, right? He knows the pylon is not where it should be, nowhere to be found in the main, and it's on MaxPax to determine whether it's real or not. Again, thankfully, he already went for a 2-gate opener, so he's safe regardless. Yep, Creator confirms, 2 gateways. Stargate as well, nicely done here. So MaxPax does not flinch. If he had gone for a robo, that's just a very safe way to set up and to shut this down and to hard counter a proxy, but MaxPax will take a risk, go for a Stargate instead to harass across the map. Ooh, as the probe does fall. But this is why the changes that are going to be made to the Oracle is so important when it comes to the PTR, as these Stargate openers have been very prevalent here and very, I want to say, abusive. I mean, we'll get into it, but Oracles with NG overcharge and PvP are crazy. So now the pylon is going to go down. Creator gets the faster expansion, and MaxPax not too far behind. MaxPax here attempts to get into the main. Doesn't get eyes on too much. Here come the Oracles, again to harass across the map. And Oracles, they can gain so much value in this matchup if you can retain them, if they can survive the early game and get into the mid game. 2-3 Oracles can heavily swing fights in your favor. Let's go. First Oracle's moving out, second Oracle's on the way. Ooh, as the Stalkers poke in, they recall back home, they'll recall just in time to defend. And remember, even if the Oracle doesn't deal damage, like, it's still gaining a lot of value here by keeping Creator busy. And we're making use of those station traps. Oh, assuming we keep it alive. Oh no! Oh, the Oracle taking a lot of hits. Here comes the interception. One more volley, and the Oracle does go down. Ay, ay, ay. A disastrous start from MaxPax. We were hyping up the Oracle here, talking about how much value we can get over the course of the game, but MaxPax will throw away his first Oracle. First one goes down. There is still one left, but a really rough start here for MaxPax. Ay, ay, ay. As I was moving out, a Creator, because he didn't go for a Stargate, he already has Blink on the way. Blink is in production. MaxPax sets up a bait, sets up a stasis. Can he lure Creator in? Creator, he's on hold position. Okay, okay. Very disappointed. Oh no! Jeez. As he notices. Yeah, he does notice. Whew, keen eyes there at the Creator. Tussle back. Oracle towards the mineral line. Going for the stasis. And Creator, he does notice. Does pull away. Behind this, MaxPax going for DTs. MaxPax sees no. Ooh. Does decide to cancel. Ah, Robo. Yeah, Robo's almost done. MaxPax, he did go into the main base. He scattered the timing of the Robo, saw that it was already on the way. Does cancel. It is not uncommon in PvP to delay your Robo until you get a third base, until after you get a third. So MaxPax was hoping the Creator would be cutting some corners. Just like MaxPax is, as he's cutting corners. Oh no! Station Trap is going to connect, catching out 4 probes, not bad. And MaxPax is taking his third base. Again, third base before the Robo, which is what he was hoping that Creator would also be doing. Creator goes for a dive, gets 1, gets 2 Stalkers. Remember, Creator has Blink, MaxPax does not. Not yet. Blink is still on the way. And the Creator, he should be able to force a cancel. Or even just take the fight. Yep, just zoning away the army. Kills the pylon. And does force that cancellation. So Creator just all over MaxPax, denies the third base, denies the Dark Shrine, shuts down the Oracle. And Creator, he enjoys a faster third. His third base is almost done. Third base is almost done. Creator, he's ahead in almost every aspect here. Forge as well for +1. Ooh, Creator pushing into a concave, has to be careful. Creator, he has to calm down. MaxPax now has Blink, he's caught up. And Creator just has to play it slow. Just play it slow. Hey, you're already up a base, you're up in expansion, up in economy. Just calm down, Pappy, calm down. Wait for +2 to kick in, sorry, +1 to kick in. There's no rush. There it is, +1 is on the way. MaxPax still working on his forge. So there's going to be that window, there's going to be that timing where Creator has +1 over his opponent. As we're calming down. From here, we're just calming things down, we're building back up. So double deck making it into the main. Toadep's taking one shot probes, getting 1, 2, 3. 3 probes going down. Very nice damage. Late reaction here out of Creator. And finally something going MaxPax's way. As MaxPax does take an economic lead. Okay. I mean, very necessary here for the blue Protoss. Likewise, I believe we've been missing Chrono Boost. Yeah, not been Chrono Boosting the upgrade. So we do see that MaxPax has been catching up. So it's catching up with +1. That lead the Creator had is not as large as it once was. MaxPax forcing his way in. Charge still not yet done. Creator, he should be able to hold on here. It does have the shield battery. Does have the energy overcharge. Does hold. Oh, let's be careful. Let's hold, does run away. And we're staying on a low gas count. Only 3. Only 3 gases. Going Mass Zealots. Charge is finishing up. Backup Prism is on the way. And it's all or nothing for Creator. Creator, after losing all those probes, he's not rebuilding. Like, he's not replacing the workers. He's not taking another expansion. He's not taking gases. It's all or nothing. Creator, he's all in. We need charge lots. Flipping an 8 zealots at a time. Oh, baits at the stasis. Very nice. Yeah, Creator so far, every time he spotted those stasis traps. Still need those reinforcements as they peel off into the mineral line. He needs Zealots here for the main fight though. As he's up against so many more Stalkers. Yeah, Zealots now they're trickling in. Stasis goes off, catching 4. Ooh, Max is getting punished. Also an awkward blink. Yo, we got 2 prisms. We got the 2 prisms, let's go! We got the 2 prisms. We need Zealots though. We need the Warpins. Ooh, Zealot flank is coming in as well. Stasis runs out. As controller Creator, he pulls back those Zealots. That's still very close. Remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for MaxPax, and the Creator is running out of steam. Yeah, he's running out of steam. GG gets called, not enough charge loss, not enough support, and MaxPax, he will survive the all-in and tie up the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Creator, it was all or nothing. He cut workers early on. He only took 3 gases in total. It was all or nothing. I do think that it was maybe the wrong move to peel off Zealots to go into the mineral line. If you remember, so when he pushed in between the bases into the natural, his first warband of Zealots he actually sent it towards the 4th base. And he did kill probes. True, he killed probes, he denied mining. But what was important, especially when you're going for an all-in like this, isn't about dealing economic damage. It's not about killing bases. It's about killing the main army and just killing your opponents. So because of that, it was a little bit of wasted DPS. Yes, he's killing things. Yes, he's getting damage for it. He's getting value, but not really value that really matters, right? Not damage that matters. Just because MaxPax was able to retain a higher Stalker count as Zealots were being spent elsewhere. So I think that was maybe didn't really prioritize what mattered most when you're going for an all-in like that, and with that a lot of Zealots were kind of, again, spending their time elsewhere. We saw that MaxPax he blinked very well with his Stalkers, retaining them of course, and in the end did hold. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're tied up 1-1, and we're getting into game number 3. As a reminder, this is the best of 5. Best of 5, not a best of 3, so we have plenty more games ahead of us. As we're getting into game 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Skystorm Gaming, tying up the series 1-1. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself. It is Creator. We go. It's about sending a message. True. One of my favorite things about MaxPax stasis wards, it's a pity they're nerfing them. I would say that because of how the nerf is working, stasis traps and stasis wards are still going to be useful. It is a change that is specifically going to be targeting PvP. Specifically, the duration change I think is a good thing, just because it's kind of raises the skill floor on them, because you don't want to waste them. You don't want to just throw down stasis traps just to spend energy. Now it matters more how and when you throw them down, just because if you throw them down too soon, then they're going to expire, then it's going to be a waste of energy. So personally, I'm quite fond of it. As I mentioned, it just raises the skill floor on like how you use them and how you utilize them as well. Which I would not say is a negative thing. As from here, we're getting into our openers. Once again, 2-gate opener out of a creator, 2-gate opener out of MaxPax. And in creator, he had such a strong start last game anyway, which, I mean, it makes sense why he went for an all-in, right? It's like just because he had taken a lead, but as we mentioned, thanks to the adepts especially, like he did end up losing that lead and losing that advantage. Find ourselves in game 3. So players just being as annoying as possible. Once again, MaxPax does open up Stargate. This is to be expected. So 2-gate opener into Stargate into an expansion. This is the new go-to nowadays for MaxPax. Is the go-to. The downside, of course, is that he is a lot more predictable, and I'm sure creator is aware. Again, I was very impressed by how he was able to handle himself in the last game when it came to the Oracle defense and dealing with all the stasis traps as well. But it's not easy to do so. Slip up one wrong moment and you will lose an entire mineral line to a stasis trap. Or you lose an army. As the Oracle is on the way. Way creator, he did double down, getting a third and fourth stalker, rallying in. Does rally. Behind this, Twilight Council is going to be on the way, getting into blink. Very similar to last game, the Oracle dips into main base for their sentries to defend, and so far creator hasn't sustained any damage yet. He's still reinforcing. Moving up with the depths. We'll see if MaxPax can keep up. Now, thankfully, this time MaxPax will keep both of his Oracles alive. Both alive. And that'll make it that much more difficult for creator to keep up with the Oracle harass. Shade into the mineral line. Gets one, gets two. Keepers go down. Oracle deflected into the natural. Oracle doesn't go into the main. Link is being chronoed. Once again, there are Robo on 2 bases before the third. Once again, safe play here by creator. Oracles, they can one-shot. 2 probes going down. Same time, Stalkers, they poke in towards the natural. MaxPax pulling creator apart. Does end up trading, but it's still a better trade. 1 for 2. Better trade for MaxPax. As the army's distracted, Devstate get into natural, and this is brutal here. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, Devstate get in, Creator's out of position, and this is quickly becoming game-ending damage. 10 probes. 10 probes this early on, you cannot afford to lose this. Not this many. Creator punished for chasing the Stalkers. 17 probes going down. And in a mirror matchup, I mean, you can't get away with this. Whether it's ZVZ, PvP, or TVT, I mean, some of the other matchups have more ways to have comeback potential. That is true. In this matchup, there are ways to recover with Adept Harass, with Blink Stalker aggression, with Zealot Warpins, or Prism Drop play, DTs. There are some ways to do so, but they're still fewer and farther between. Creator is all in. At this way, he's all in. What do we have? So Creator, he's got 12 Stalkers. He's up by 3. He's got a couple of force fields, but he's pushing into a shield battery. He's into 2 shield batteries. And shield batteries are ready. The voids are being pulled. At the same time, MaxPax will lose some more probes. And MaxPax, he should be fine here. The Stalkers of Creator are getting very low. And Stalkers are going down. Again, the shield batteries, they excel here, as they ensure that MaxPax barely lost anything. And GG gets called. GG gets called. MaxPax, he will take a lead in the series 2-1. And he's 1 game away. 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Again, Creator, he initially was keeping up with the harassment, but he did get baited into following MaxPax, into following those Stalkers. That meant that he was exposed at the natural, and immediately, bam, Adepts came in, and the Oracles came in. The natural was exposed, and MaxPax took full advantage of that exposed natural base. Again, Creator just a little bit too overconfident when it came to chasing down those Stalkers, and was punished for it. Was punished. Now we're getting into game number 4. We'll see if we can go all the way to the ace match, or if it all ends here and now. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Persephone, we have the blue Protoss play, the blue Protoss, the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 2-1. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make, if he can force the ace match. It is a Creator. We go. See how Creator he will adjust. It's one of those things where MaxPax, he can be very active and very aggressive coming into the early to mid game, and it can be very difficult being the defending player, right? It is typically more difficult to defend than it is to be aggressive here, and that is also why players like Hero, players like Classic, players like Zauna, they often, whenever they play against MaxPax, they're often the aggressor themselves. Not necessarily always going for all-ins, but typically trying to dictate the pace of the game and dictate the flow of the game themselves instead, and take that away from MaxPax. Speaking of, the Creator going for the proxy. Highland is thrown down. Once again, 2-gate opener they're out of MaxPax. Like, remember, with these 2-gate openers, MaxPax, he will be much, much safer against these all-ins, against these proxies. This is why MaxPax stopped going for gates, gate into Cybercore. He's going for the gateway. Fun fact, the only game that MaxPax has lost so far in this series was the game that he went Gate Cybercore. To be fair, the game on Incorporeal, also Creator, he had a much stronger start. He chose to go for the all-in himself. Which I still could have seen going the other way. Robo out of MaxPax, very safe play here, going for the Robo. A Robo opener on one base like this is designed to hard counter a proxy, designed to hard counter one base all-ins. As it does give access to Immortal production, to the War Prism. And Creator, he's committing. Remember, this is the same build that we saw in Game 1. And remember, the reason why it worked so well in Game 1 is because MaxPax did decide to open up in a more greedy fashion. But that isn't happening here. Epson moving out. Yeah, Creator, he gambled quite hard here. The gamba was real. Ah. We have a third gateway on the way here for MaxPax, so he's more than prepared. And Creator, expanding is the correct call. He has to expand. There's the Nexus. It's not an easy call to make, but I mean, he has to, as he cannot break his opponent. Perhaps they do turn the shade. They get 1. 2. 2 pros go down. Let's get 2. Oof. As Creator going for that Prism. Prism does take a lot of hits. Can he get away? And behind this, MaxPax is reinforcing. He's got his own Immortal. He's turning this defense into a 1-base all in himself. And it's going to be a tough hold here for Creator. Alright, what do we have? We have 3 sentries. 3 sentries, a shield battery. Let's see if Creator can make a stand. MaxPax is moving in. Bearing in mind he can save his units if he does get force fielded. Blocking down sentries. Saves all 3. Saves 2. Max actually pulls back. Nice juggling. Saves the sentries. That's the added value here with the Prism. He essentially has Blink himself. Soul kiting. It's back. Shuts down the Gateway Army. Say that these Stalkers do take a lot of hits themselves. One Stalker does go down. Oh, Creator losing so much more though. 8 probes falling. Oh, the Prism! Prism overextends. Yeah, big overextension, but he will get on top of the Immortal. Does trade 1-to-1. And MaxPax has double the Stalker count. MaxPax will try to reinforce. Down to 4 Stalks for Creator. Down to 4. And more Stalkers are coming. They are delayed. Warfare is being rebuilt. MaxPax still moving in. Without the Immortal, I think Creator does hold though. He's got his Immortal. MaxPax is expanding, yet he recognizes he can no longer break Creator. Wise distracted. Adepts, they do make their way into the main. Ah, no. And two Adepts, they one-shot. They one-shot probes, getting 1, 2, 3 probe kills in the main. Oof, gets 4. And MaxPax pulls away. Pulls back, pulls away. As the dust settles, MaxPax does have the better economy. MaxPax making more probes. In a rough position. Ah, not again. Yeah, losing another 2 workers. Every little bit counts. MaxPax, the pressure is on. Sorry, creator, I should say. He's got a sentry as an immortal. He can maybe get some damage. He has to be so careful though not to lose this. Oh no! Volley goes off. Oh my god. We'll take 2 volleys to the face. Does survive, just barely. MaxPax, he's hunting him down. He wants that prism. He wants that war prism. Get out of here, Pat. Get out of here. He does race back home. No! Thankfully, the observer here does spot the army. So Creator pulls back. He was just about to go for an immortal drop. That would not have been the play. MVP observer. Babs taking it once again. Getting 1 and 2 more probes. Pulling out. And Creator's all in, going for Glaive Adepts. So he's going for an Immortal Glaive all in. This can hit hard if you have a solid economy, but Creator's still recovering economically. Okay, Immortal drop into the main base. MaxPax moving out across the map. Ooh, may lose his own War Prism. Okay. Oh my god, Prism goes down. Creator, he defends back at home. Again, going for his own drop. And Max actually just sends it. And the Immortals are not home to they're not home to defend. They're not at home. Creator is out of position. There's a recall back home. Recalls into the main. Boys being pulled. Creator, he's stuck in the main base. Now moving down. Has force field. Immortals are exposed. Nice juggling. Creator comes in for me. He comes in for the surround. Is it enough? Ah, the Prism falls. Down goes Prism. The Immortals as well. 19 pro kills. There's the recall back home. And Max actually got what he wanted. Didn't kill Creator, but did maim him. Horribly here. 19 probe kills. Glaive's about to finish. Getting to Glaives. Creator, he has to commit. MaxPax just now getting a shield battery. He has 17 Stalkers. So many Stalkers to defend. Force fields, they lock down the sentries. Creator, he can't reinforce. Again, he barely has an economy. Warping in 1 Stalker at a time. Creator, he's broke. He has no money. Oof. Ah, not again. Prism gets turned away. Does finally go down. And again, plenty of Stalkers remaining here. GG gets called. MaxPax, he shuts down the aggression, shuts down the all-in. And MaxPax will take the series at 3-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations. MaxPax does claim the series. A very intense back and forth. I'm still thinking about the game on Incorporeal. Like, I can still see a world where Creator does take that game and does extend the series, of course. But, you know, he made his choice to go for that charge all in. Likewise, the following games were very impressive, of course, from MaxPax. Game 3 on Pylon, of course, was pretty clean. It was the cleanest game that we saw from MaxPax. Here, game 4, a little bit more back and forth between the two players, with Creator kind of baiting and forcing an all-in. He did defend, but he just took crippling damage in the end. He himself was forced into an all-in. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax will claim the series, and we are going to be getting ready for the grand final series. Again, unfortunately, I didn't really have many replays available for this event, so it's going to be a bit of a shorter broadcast. But up next, we do have Zola versus MaxPax in that finals. Let's go. Let us go. have our PVZ. And Solar, he has been able to hold his zone against MaxPax a little bit more in recent times, but we'll see how they approach themselves. We'll see how they approach each other. We'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. We have 2 finalists. Once again, it is going to be a best of 5. For those that are curious, PiGosaur Cup has a more unique format where the semis and the grand finals are both best of 5s. That's why MaxPax and Creator, they were duking it out in Game 4. Of our series. Now, if you know anything about Solar, you know one thing. At least you should know one thing about his ZVP, and that is all-ins. Solar, I can't remember. I say like I can't remember the last time he played Macro in ZVP. He does mix it in every now and then in a longer series, like once a week sort of thing, where he plays a little bit more tech heavy, but it's quite rare. It is very rare, and it's a little bit more map dependent as well. Typically, Solar, he is very fond of 3-base all-ins, very fond of getting up to 3 bases, getting a 4th base just for larva, cutting workers at around 60 to 70, depending on what exactly he's going for, and going for a Ling Hydra all-in. There are other variations where he does go for German taxis, where he goes for a Ling Queen walks across the map, especially on smaller maps like Pylon, maps like Ultra Love. That's where you should be expecting something more aggressive like that. And on some of these larger maps, that's when we do see him go for lair tech all-ins, where he avoids the hive, avoids infestation, but he maxes out on a purely Lingbane Hydra as well. So we typically expect hyper aggression. On some larger maps, we can see mutaplay, so maps like Tokamak, maps like Maganatha. There we can see Aspire, we can see mutaplay. Solar does like to mix that in. But for the most part, we're looking at Solar to see how aggressive he is and when he cuts worker production. From the side of MaxPax, we expect to see standard, more defensive play. But we'll see. Like, MaxPax is also quite fond of mixing Enclave Adepts. In general, we do see that quite a lot from our top Protoss players like Showtime, players like Hero, Classic, MaxPax. We often see Stargate into early Twilight Council into Glaives, or something that's become a lot more standard in recent times is early Twilight Council delayed Forge into early Blink Stalker. We'll get into it. For now, standard opener. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the 3rd base and the timing of the Twilight Council from MaxPax. From Solar, we'll keep an eye open for the Evo Chamber timing and for the lair timing. For now, getting his 3rd base, pulling out a gas. Everything's looking normal for the time being from both sides. MaxPax does throw the shade, but it moves out. Oracle's on the way. Yes, the 3rd base is going to be taken. The Overlord is going to be hunted down. This is a pretty crucial moment. With that, Solar, he gets supply blocked, and he has no vision anymore. He will lose the Overlord, which means MaxPax can decide to hide some tech, as typically that Overlord would be scouting the main base to see the follow-up. So a rough start for Solar. Links poke in. There it is, early Twilight Council. So this is going to be an early council. It's going to be a delayed Forge. From here, we can do one of 2 things. We can go into Glaives if we throw down an extra set of 3 gateways. Sorry, 2 gateways. So if we throw down 2 more gateways, we can go into Glaives. Otherwise, it looks like, especially because we're taking our time with the gateways, this looks like early Blink. Gateways now being thrown down. What's it going to be? No Forge, screams more Glaive Adepts, but this could just be a delayed, like a much more delayed Forge. Evo Chamber out of Solar, +1 melee. There it is, Blink. So early Blink. Now, what does early Blink like this entail? Well, There's some pros, there's some cons. This does mean early blink timing. This is designed to break specifically the 4th base. The 4th expansion, when it gets taken, will get scattered, will be spotted, and then MaxPax can push, strike with blink, and shut it down. The downside of this build is no forge, right? There is no forge, there is no +1, so the upgrades are delayed. Upgrades are going to be lagging behind that where they should be. Now we get the forge, again, much later. So much later forge, much later +1. But it does allow MaxPax to be active earlier on. Meanwhile, with +1 melee, I do favor Solar's position. Now, if MaxPax was actually going into Glaive Adepts, I would be concerned. Why? Well, because Solar is skipping roaches. +1 melee means that you're skipping roaches and you're skipping or delaying the Baneliness as well. You're being quite greedy and working with purely Ling, typically Ling into Hydra, right? You're saving all your gas. You're saving all your gas, getting to Hydra Tech. And if Glaives are coming, well, there wouldn't be Banelings, there wouldn't be roaches. It could just end the game. Like we have seen many Zerg players like Serral, players like Raynor die to Glaive Adepts in recent times in this exact scenario. Thankfully for Solar, it's Blink, not Glaives. As MaxPax is being active early, this is quite risky. Typically, you wait for Blink. Blink is done in a couple of seconds. MaxPax did push early. And we spoke about it, right? This is designed to break the 4th. This is the 4th. The 4th base is here. MaxPax moving in. At the same time, Solar, he does go for the counterattack. Hits the 3rd. Solar does hit the 3rd base. MaxPax moving in. Getting on top of the Queens. Clutch chance fuse. Very clutch chance fuse. Oh my god, Solar. Saves the Queens. Probe's going to be going down. Stasis does go up. And Solar just buying time. Just buying time for more reinforcements. Hoping he can save the expansion. Once again, the transfuse saves the Queen. I mean, he's tanking so many Stalker shots as a result. All that damage could have been on the hatchery. Or on Lings. Ooh, brutal stasis though. Insane stasis trap. Catching out little Lings. Solar to take down 7 probes across the map. Hydra upgrades are on the way. Remember, we spoke about this, right? It's going to be a Ling Bane Hydra out of Solar. Delayed Banelings. Rushing into those Hydras, and Solar defends. He defends, he holds, he saves the expansion. That's what's important here. What did MaxPax get for the early Blink? Well, Lings. He got 3 drone kills earlier thanks to the Oracle Harass. Banelings rolling in. Takes down 2 probes, shuts down some of the side defense. But MaxPax was not worth it, right? He failed to kill the expansion. He failed to kill any Queens. MaxPax did not trade well enough. And now Solar can reach his final form, which is what? Which is Ling Bane Hydra. Upgrades are finishing up. Base is looking solid. Getting a 5th expansion. And we're getting ready. So he will soon be done droning, then he can focus on this push. MaxPax behind this is stuck at home. Does have Storm. True. Storm is done. Setting up defensively. And you recall what we were mentioning earlier in this very game at the very beginning about potential builds that Solar goes for. We spoke about these Ling Hydra all-ins for 3 bases. This is not that. We are joining up to 81, but do you remember something else we brought up? We brought up the potential Lair Tech all-in, where Solar, he will get up to 80 workers, he will max out on Ling Bane Hydra, and do you notice something? No Infestation Bit, no Lurker Den, no Hive, no extra gases. This is a Lair Tech all-in. So just purely Lair Tech all-in, pure Ling Bane Hydra. There's no plans for anything else, and the goal here is to kill MaxPax. If he fails to, then Solar will just be outscaled. He'll just be outscaled. So either Solar kills MaxPax here and now, or he dies trying. Storms popping up. Nice storms. But how many High Templar left? Ooh, not many. Yeah, there's not many Templar. There's 2 Templar. No! There's 0 Templar. 0 Templar remaining. 0 Storms. I just have to back up. At the same time, Lings, they do hit the 4th base. Soul has to regroup. He has to pull back. He has to regroup. Again, the lack of Storms is concerning. There's 3 Templar, but 0 Storm. PiGosaur stepping. Catches both oracles. Yeah, miscontrol out of MaxPax. Both oracles go down. Down goes the expansion. Remember, Solar, he wants more than that. He does get a base. He wants more. As he pulls back, rotates around. And he cannot stop, right? Like Solar, he cannot stop. He needs to be unrelenting with this style, with this build. The moment he stops, bam, Sky Toss, and then MaxPax just outscales. Like, it just... So once again, just ensuring there's no fourth expansion. Fourth base is now being taken. Solar, he pulls back, Prism into the main. Does distract Solar. Big distraction. But again, Solar's remaxed. Remember, he's remaxed, and remember, like, there's no extra gases, there's no further tech. It's still just purely Ling and Bane Hydra. So he will break the fourth. Zones. More storms are available. There's what, 3 more storms left. Down to 2. Down to 1. Yeah, the final storm. Oh no! Bailey's crashed in. The high tempo getting very low. He needs a little bit more time for another storm. The base goes down. And Solar, he's going for the kill. He's trying. Oh, another storm connects. Yeah, the storms are getting ready. They're getting ready once again. The Templar, they're building up that energy. Zelsa trying to catch reinforcements. Ooh, miscontrol. Yeah, and misbotting out of Solar. He runs into the army, bleeds out almost every single Hydra. Ay, ay, ay. And that might have just cost him the game. That was a big loss here for Solar, losing so many Hydras for free. Lost the Hydras. Mothership's now on the way. Plus 3 attackers on the way. Fourth base being retaken. Solar, he did lose a lot of momentum. He's gonna keep going. He's gotta keep going. Now, thankfully for Solar, there's no like carrier production or Tempest production here. I mean, there would be if there was a 4th expansion, right? Like, typically to max out into Skytoss, you do need 4 bases, and MaxPax doesn't have that. So Solar, he's at least keeping the tech low. He's keeping it low on the opponent's side. Storms, they do graze the army. Hydra's rushing in, getting on top of the Templar. 0 storms left. No more storms. He's done it. Breaks through the 4th base. Okay. Templar coming in. There's the NG overcharge. There's the overcharge. Nice storm on the Bailey's. Nice storm on Jesus. Storms are brutal. But Solar, looks like he has done it. Yeah, he gets into the mineral line, cripples the economy. This is like a 5-minute all-in, by the way. Like, it was just 5 minutes of almost non-stop aggression out of Solar. And again, he's at least containing the Protoss player on 3 bases. And MaxPax, again, he's running out of money, running out of resources. And Solar just brute forcing his way through. Gets above the expansion. Nexus will go down. And at this point, Solar's done it. Solar, he has done it. Just rallying in, getting on top of the Immortals. The Mothership is trying to make a stand. Trying. Oh, we have detection, though. And detection is available. Down to 1 Immortal. Down to just a Mothership. Yo, Mothership's pretty good, though. That GG. GG gets called. Solar, he will take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game there out of Solar, again going for a lair tech all-in, but before the all-in, remember, it was on MaxPax. Scrolling, winding it back, MaxPax, he did decide to go for early blink. He decided to go for the early blink timing to break the 4th base, and the MVPs of this game were the queens. The transfuses specifically, there were so many clutch transfuses. I want to say there was 4 different times where the queens were barely saved, and it may not sound like a big deal, but because the queens did not go down, and they should have, again, like so many times, I want to say at 4 different moments, the queens were 1 more volley away from going down. Because they didn't go down, it was a really great job of tanking damage, tanking shots, buying time, saving the 4th base, preserving the lings, and surviving the early blink timing. And after that blink timing failed, MaxPax did fall behind. He did fall behind, and that is one of the reasons why that all-in from Solar was able to work so well, is because of the rough early to mid game that MaxPax had with the failed aggression with early blink. GG. GG, well played. So with that Solar, he defended it very well. Well enough to just take a lead to overwhelm. And now we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Torches, we have the Danish Protoss player. The Danish Protoss, we have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg, the South Korean Zerg for Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And we should be going for another all-in here. Let's go. And again, when it came to the previous game, like any lesser player, or if Solar had played any worse, if MaxPax had started killing queens, and he gets 1 queen, then the other, then the other, then the other, he resets the queen count, and then he most likely kills the expansion, kills the 4th base, and then MaxPax would have taken a lead instead, coming into game 1 on ley lines. So again, it all came down to that early blink timing. Meanwhile, Solar, we're on Torches. I am shocked this map was not vetoed. I'll be honest. Torches screams all in. Regardless of the matchup, hyper aggression on Torches is expected. So for MaxPax to allow Torches through, I'm a little bit surprised. Okay, show us what you got. Now, what's scary about Torches is link floods. We should be seeing the initial hatch gas pull, rush into the goal base, into link speed, pull out of link speed, or maybe even just get a Baneling Nest and go for a link bane all in. Just because there's just such a wide entrance into the natural with all these mineral patches. Now, I've seen this before. I've seen MaxPax and some of these other Protoss players attempt to hold here, where they situate Adepts, Stalkers, and the goal is to kill the drones before they mine. The problem is that Zerg players have been adapting, and when the Zerg player goes for their all-in, when they commit, you know what they do? They pull the boys. They don't just bring like 3 drones. No. They bring like 10. Like, they bring a wave of drones to make sure that even if there are Adepts and Stalkers here to focus them down, there's going to be too many workers to focus down, and they will still mine through this wall, and the flood will still get in. So, we'll see if MaxPax can make a stand here and can defend this wall. Link speed is ready. There we go. Link speed is on the way. You can see Solar, he pulls out completely. He's not going for a Bane bust. Otherwise, he would have stayed in. So no Banelings, no Roaches, just link speed, link flood. And of course, it's going to be boosted or an even greater link flood thanks to the gold minerals, of course. Now, I'm assuming that Solar's going for a link flood and going for an all-in, but, you know, maybe I'm out of place there. Maybe we could just macro from here, maybe. But it is Solar, like. Now Stargate open out to MaxPax. MaxPax, he's on patrol. We do have a 3rd base here for Larva. And Solar, he's droning up a little bit further. He does have full saturation at the gold. He's on full saturation. Now, if he keeps... Okay, he's droning. He's not all in. Here, 5 drones. These 5 drones, he is not going for the all in. He does have link speed, but he is macroing up instead. Okay, so we're not committing to anything. MaxPax, he's trying to make sure. He does throw in the pylon just in case. So MaxPax a little bit paranoid. I don't blame him, because again, all-ins are very common here. But no, Solar, he's macroing. Okay. We're getting into a game. Now, as we get into a game, this is where we have to talk about the goal base. It has to be punished. The Oracle gets one drone, takes a lot of hull damage here. Ah, the Adepts! Adepts, they get cornered, losing one, losing both Adepts. Ay, that should not have happened. And so far, a much stronger start for Solar. This goal base needs to be punished. Now the pressure is on the Protoss player to do something about the gold. Otherwise, Solar can just expand, take more bases, saturate, just get a greater economy. Okay. Knocking down the tumor. We have 10 more Lings in production. Solar, he spots the third. Early Twilight Council out of MaxPax. Are we tempted to go Glaive Adepts? It is an early Twilight Council. Now, last game, it was early Blink. Remember, it was early Blink Stalkers. But are we more tempted to go into Glaives this time? It's an option. Ah, Forge, Blink. With the Forge on the way, this does kind of put a Glaive Adepts off the table, and now it's either +1 in Blink or +1 in Charge. Needs to be zoned away. Oh, +1 in Charge, okay. Going to Charge. Bold move. Now, these early charge timings, they can punish a Zerg player that doesn't go Roaches. I guess similar to Glaive Adepts. But if Solar does decide to cut Banelings and cut Roaches, then Solar is going to be quite vulnerable to this charge timing. Gateways are on the way. MaxPax, he will commit. And Solar is going Ling Hydra. Now, typically, I would favor MaxPax here. I'd be like, okay, this charge timing can actually work really well, especially if Solar is too greedy. But the problem is the gold base, right? Because the gold expansion and because of the early game, oh, we're getting a surround and we catch out 2 more Stalkers. Like, Solar's been getting a lot of value here. He's been killing 2 Adepts, the Stalkers, minimizing losses against the Oracle. Solar, he's in a much better position than he would be on a standard map. Oh, we're just walking? Are we? Okay. Solar, he's on 56 workers. He should be getting another expansion just for Larva, but he's massing up at Ling Bane Hydra. Okay. He's opening up the center. Of the center path. Solar, he has not actually made a drone in quite some time. He does have a 4th base just for Larva. No drones. Yeah, no drones, no saturation. Solar is going for a 3-base all-in, but remember, it's a boosted economy thanks to the gold. So it's even greater than a 3-base all-in. Storm is not ready. Oh. Yeah, Storm isn't ready. Solar is pushing in. A creep is already encroaching upon the bases, and here comes Solar. He's just going for the kill. He's going for the kill. He busts into main. No shield. Okay, sorry. There's a shield battery. There are some force fields. Storm is still not ready, though. Yeah, barely not ready in time. Lings, they want those High Templar. They at least zone away. Natural has been broken. And Solar, he's just going for the kill. Going for the kill. Going for the throat. Again, Solar, his economy was not punished. Storm is out on. Get some decent storms. We get some decent storms. But it's only really Storm here. Ah, there's a Immortal. Immortal does swap out. Archon's being forced to morph in. Voids are being pulled. MaxPax barely holding on. And Soul's not stopping. And he shouldn't. He should not stop. Nice spread. Star steps in, takes down the Zealots, takes down the Archon. And there's no defense here. There's no defense from MaxPax. Solar has broken through. And again, I'm shocked that this map made it through the vetoes. I mean, didn't go for the all-in that I'd assumed, but did go for a 3-base all-in regardless. GG gets called, and Solar will take the lead in the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Solar, 1 game away from claiming the series. MaxPax, the pressure is on. And again, I mean, Torches is a rare sight. I always appreciate seeing it, but at the same time, interesting to see that it made it through the vetoes here between the two players. I mean, it's a best of 5, so there are less vetoes to begin with, true. Maybe there was like a game of chicken going on, but again, Zerg players are very fond of committing here into aggression and taking advantage of the goal base on Torches. With that, Solar did snowball out of control, and now we're getting to game number 3. We're jumping into game 3, and we'll see if we can recover. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. The pressure is on. Down heavily in the series. Remember, it's a best of 5. First to 3 will win. He has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. We go. She's at CranKy Ducklings. What did you think about Cyril versus Clem? We were casting Maestros live last night, so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Love the vibe, love the venue, of course. Shout out to Funka and Koka for the rap that they did host. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Beautiful. It was a fun series. I will say that unfortunately it was a little bit one note. We didn't really get a lot of variety in the series, unfortunately. That's something that I will say. I mean, the meta has been shifting quite a bit in recent times. I was really interested in the fact that Cyril actually adopted Raynor's build. I didn't think that would happen. I guess, you know, right now, standard opener, hatch gas pool, whack-wise, gate expanded to MaxPax. But very quickly touching on it, what I mean by that is, if you know anything about ZBT and about Raynor's style, Raynor, he's very fond of going Ling into Infestor into Ultra. He's very fond of it. And it's really risky. It's really, really risky. It can be abused quite heavily as well. It's basically Raynor's own take on Shin style, I say Shin style, on the more standard style of going for a roach opener, going roaches from roach into Ling, then into Infestor, then into Ultra instead, which is a safer way of doing it. But Raynor has been cutting corners and just going straight Ling, Infestor, Ultra instead, without banelings, without roaches. And we've seen some very mixed results when Raynor does it. Very mixed. Like, we've seen it work sometimes, but if his opponent knows what they're doing, like if they know what Raynor's up to, then you can punish it quite hard. So I was really surprised to see that Cyril started doing it as well. And he featured it last night against Clem, and I mean, as to be expected, it also had mixed results. Like like again, like, it's just such a risky way of playing, and such a risky kind of style as well. And yeah, Clem, he did a great job at punishing it. I think what caught me off guard is that we saw it quite a lot. I want to say we saw it like 3 or 4 different games out of their 2 series. So interesting that that Cyril has at least adopted it for the time being. I don't know if it's something that he's gonna stick with, or something that is gonna that it's like a phase and then we like move away from it. But we saw it quite a bit. I wanted some mech turtle play from Clem. God no. As for now, standard opener. So we have our standard opener here out of MaxPax. Wait for his Oracle. Now we can lock in. Max actually makes his way across the map. But if you want to check out Mestos, it was a really fun cast. I do recommend checking out the VODs over on our YouTube. So streamed over on YouTube as well. The Oracle does the mineral line, gets 3 drone kills so far. Not having to play so much should have been enough. Cyril had to grind so much. I mean, if you're pushing against the idea of an extended series, then you're saying that Cyril should have lost faster, because then you're saying Clem should have had a 1-0 lead, right? Like it's usually one or the other. Either Clem starts up 1-0 or they have like a second series afterwards, right? It's like either one or the other sort of thing. The reasoning for that is because it was double elimination, right? It's a double elimination brackets. So one or the other. So either you have a second series after, or you just give Clem like a 1-0 advantage, right? Oh, we're going for an all-in. Okay, let's log in. From here, Solar, he does get up to 3-base saturation. He's defended well against the Oracles, and we're going for Overlord speed, a massive wave of Overlords as well. We're going for a German taxi. We're loading up. We're getting ready. We're gearing up for a taxi. Meanwhile, MaxPax back at home. He's still gearing up, getting into a more standard opener for the first time. Blinken +1, standard build out of MaxPax, and will he recognize what's going on in time? Will he recognize? As here come the Dropalords, here comes the taxi. It's understandable that they do best of 3 after the first session. Yeah, again, like as I mentioned, it's either you're advocating for Clem starting up 1-0, or you're advocating for a second series afterwards. Like it's advocating for one or the other. As here, I mean, as MaxPax, he will completely miss the all-in. MaxPax, he's like, let's go, I'm killing the 4th base. Papi, where's the army? Ask yourself, it's here. The army has arrived. Solar sending it right down the right-hand side. There's recall back home. Does recall. Does recall back. Cybercore's gonna go down. Droplords are coming to start creep. And it was a recall into the main. Okay, recall into the main base. Queen shot off. One queen goes down. Clutch transfuse. Yeah, very clutch transfuse. Oh my, the transfuses. The queen tanks what, 2-3 volleys, and Solar, he does it. He breaks the natural base. Again, MaxPax, he just completely missed the all-in coming his way. Spent a lot of time killing a base. It did not matter. The reality is the hatchery did not matter. He got baited, but he denies Storm. 9 seconds away. 9 seconds away. Storm is denied. The Lings, they flood in. The natural is broken. We have some feedbacks, doing what we can, as there is no Storm. And Solar, he runs away with it. He runs away with it in the end. That's from here. Takes out the tech. Breaks through the structures. Back in the main base, we have full stalker. Let's go. We got 4 stalkers and some stasis traps. Nice. Oh my god, very nice. Bait Solar in, but Solar, he can just back off, rotate, and go for the 3rd. Just go for the 3rd expansion. We can pick and choose. The 3rd base is much more fortified. We got a cannon, Archon, shield battery. True, Solar, he can just drone if he really wanted to. He can just back off and drone up. Solar's got options. And with Solar, he's made his choice. He's made his choice. So Solar, he's backing off. What's he doing? He's getting ready for the 2nd wave. Getting ready for the 2nd all-in. He does not drone. Does get a base, only for Larva. Only for Larva. Here come the Ravagers. Here come the reinforcements. He's luring the army out into the open. Charge is about to finish. Baits out the stasis. Stasis trap gets baited. Whilst they do connect. Yeah, they graze the zealots. Queens are waddling in. And a MaxPax, he should not be able to hold on here. There just is not enough. Oof. As the Archon goes down. beautiful. GG gets called as there's nothing remaining to defend, and Solar, he will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar as he does claim the series, does take the 3-0, and MaxPax, he does bow out here again. Hyper aggressive series out of Solar. What I will say though is that we had different builds every single game. I'm still shocked that Torches made it through the vetoes. I'll be honest, Pappy. I'll be honest. Still a little bit shocked that Torches did make it through the vetoes, and Solar, he was able to have a lot of fun on Torches. Game 1, if you remember, came down to MaxPax. MaxPax, he failed to get damage done with his early blink timing, so MaxPax fell behind as a result, and Solar was able to capitalize on MaxPax's rough early to mid game. And then Game 3, we saw that unfortunately MaxPax, he missed the all-in. Yes, he killed the hatchery, but as we were trying to emphasize, that fourth base did not matter, right? The fourth base did not matter. He killed it, he minimized some larva, true, but because he was spending so much time killing the hatchery, it meant that Solar was able to rock up right on top of the natural and break through the wall without any resistance, right? There was no resistance at the natural base because the army wasn't in position, the wall was broken, and it allowed Solar to get in time, just barely in time, to deny Storm. GG, well played. As otherwise MaxPax would have been there to buy enough time, and again, the difference in that game would have been 9 seconds, right? If he was able to hold the line at that wall at the natural for 10 more seconds, Storm would finish, Storm would be available, Storm would zone, and then different game entirely. But GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar as he does claim the series. Very well done, very well played, and a shout out to MaxPax for making it to the finals as well. Here again, I will say that like the game where he was able to actually get into his own play was on ley lines, which didn't quite go his way in the end, but Game 2 and Game 3 were over real fast and real quick. GG, well played. Congratulations. And again, as we mentioned, no surprise with how Solar was playing. If you haven't been watching Solar over the past year, over the past 6 months, like, he does nothing but all-ins in this matchup. That's all he does. I say all he does. Every now and then he does play more tech heavy, but it's a little bit more rarer to see that. A little bit more rarer out of Solar. Where he tries to cut corners, be greedy, and try to race into the late game. Or I say late game, try to race into lurker tech. Try to race and kill with lurkers instead. That's something that Solar, he does sprinkle in every now and then. In a series, like once a week or once every couple of weeks. But GG, well played. At least maybe give Cyril a break after the best of 7. I mean, I'm sure they asked. I wouldn't be surprised if they agreed not to take a break just because it was so late. Yeah, I would not necessarily... Like, if you're trying to say that, like, oh, it wasn't fair because a player was tired, I mean, that's applicable to both players. And they can request breaks if they so choose to. The players can do so. But it is always a brutal format when you come up from the lower bracket because you do have to play more games. True. It's always true. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting series, especially if you're like interested in seeing kind of the meta evolve and the meta shape for ZBT. As I mentioned, it was a little bit one note for my taste, but it was interesting to see that Cyril had kind of adopted a style that I had previously only attributed to Raynor. But again, you can check out the VODs, everyone, the CranKy Ducklings YouTube. Check out the VODs. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, the best part about Mysos was the crowd, right? The crowd, the vibe, the atmosphere was really sick. It's beautiful. I hope that that Comeback TV and those working on the event are satisfied and with the outcome, of course, and hope it leads into more Mysos in the future, for sure. I think my only bit of critique, or the only downside, is that I wanted both Coca and Funka to get on stage again. I wanted some more French rap, Pappy. Let's go. That's all I wanted. I wanted an encore. Smurge. Probably a little question to ask in SCG chat, but I've been away since Heart of the Swarm came out. Is it worth trying to relearn the game, or is it way too hard to get back into? I mean, it depends whether it's getting back into the game or even just getting into it for the first time. It does take a lot of time and dedication to get into it. Like, it's not an easy game to get into by any means, but if that's something that you enjoy, if that's something that you're interested in, when it comes to these like more 1v1 competitive games, then for all means, like, it's still worth it. I would say, like, it's still an enjoyable experience. It just depends what you're looking for. Obviously, there are more like casual things that you can look for in StarCraft, like co-op, like the arcade, like the campaign. But if you're referring specifically to the competitive, like 1v1 aspect, then yeah, it's definitely a challenging kind of experience to get back into, for sure. And again, it does take a lot of time and dedication to relearn something like StarCraft and to get into it in like a solid way. But it's I think most would say that it's still like the best RTS experience out there. I mean, sure, there are like different forms of RTS, right? With Warcraft 3 Reforged, or with Dawn of War, with what recently came out, Tempest Rising, right? Like, there are other different kinds of RTSs that may be a little bit less micro-intensive, that may be a little bit more story-oriented, or have like a different theme, a different kind of backdrop to them. They have their own things of value that they bring to the table. But when it comes to like 1v1, I think most would agree that like it's hard to, it's set quite a bar. Unfortunately, right? Like, it's something that that maybe has kind of come to light once again with, you know, attempted works on Battle Aces and Immortal Gates of Pyre and Stormgate as well, is that it's not necessarily easy to live up to what StarCraft had already made many years before. Yeah, and I don't think anyone's been quite satisfied with any other newer release kind of taking its place yet. One type thing. I tried a game here and there with 3 years apart, and I go kind of rushed every. Oh no! I mean, there are clowns on the ladder. It's true. It's true. You cannot avoid that. You cannot. You can delude yourself into thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get like masters, or I'm gonna get M2, M1. I'm gonna get into GM, and then I'm finally gonna be able to break out and break free from all the cheese and all the nonsense. No. No. It follows you all the way up to 6K, Bobby. It follows you all the way. You cannot get away from that. But it's a part of the game, and something that unfortunately you have to get better at, or used to, like, dealing with and learning that, of course, learning that process. The clowns never go away, Bobby. They never go away. It's worth it. We're getting a new patch in maybe half a month-ish. The new patch should be in November. So it should be in November. If you remember, the reason why I say should be November is because the new TLMC map, the new map pool, that should be going live in November. So I'm assuming that the patch is going to come alongside the update to the ladder maps, right? That's my assumption, is that they're going to be coming hand in hand. Technically, it could be coming before it with a separate patch, but my assumption is that the ladder maps come out at the same time as the patch, I would assume. The players can be elitist. I feel like that's the case with all like competitive games, right? With Brood War, with with League and Dota, right? There's a lot of that as well, right? Between the MOBAs, right? With like, I want to say probably Dota's maybe a little bit more elitist than League. Like, that's also a thing. With like CS:GO and Valorant, or CS:GO and like Overwatch, like 100%, like you get like elitism from like the more quote unquote like hardcore realistic CS:GO, with like the more like fun like team game of like Valorant or Overwatch. Like, yeah, that sort of thing's all over the place. I'm a Counter-Strike elitist as well. There you go. There you go. So that's also with like the battle royales, right? Like you got the PUBG kids, and then you got the Fortnite kids, and then you got like the I don't know if there's any other battle royale out there. Call of Duty Warzone. There you go. You get but with that, congratulations here to Solar. Congratulations. So let's claim the series very impressive, especially considering I typically do favor MaxPax over Solar, but Solar has been refining his cheese, refining his aggression. Of course he has. And with that, that is going to be wrapping up our broadcast of the PiGosaur Cup, but we still have some more matches ahead of us. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. I see now. I see. Interesting. So, oh, these are the qualifier matches. I remember. Este Prom. Okay. I believe this is from GSL. So winding it back for a moment, or maybe it was EWC. Winding it back. For those that are curious, if you're in the chat, if you do wish us to cast some of your replays, there's a way to do so. I believe it's 10,000 points, 10,000 channel points, and we will cast one of your replays. And a couple of days ago, Prom, a Korean Protoss player, he did redeem a couple of replays for us to cover and for us to cast. And I wasn't really too, I assumed that they were ladder games. They are not ladder games. I remember this at the start of the year. At around, I say start of the year, like a couple of months ago, Prom, he played a series against Dongre-gu, against DRG. DRG, as you would know, he's mainly retired at this point. DRG, he's one of the players that silently retired at the start of the year. DRG still plays in qualifiers, like specifically GSL qualifiers. So he was still in the GSL qualifiers, and I believe he was playing in the EWC qualifiers as well. But that's all he plays in. Like, he doesn't play in onlines, he doesn't play in invitationals. Like, he's very much so like more of a hobbyist nowadays. But I did see, as we were casting because we cast everything, as we were casting the events, there was a series between DRG and Prom which caught our attention, which we didn't get to cast, and it looks like Prom redeemed those replays. So we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, Dongre-gu versus Prom is going to be coming up next. I don't know what to expect. We'll see. See you soon. Fortunately, there's no hate between the Duckling and the Mallard communities. None that you know of. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have some viewer replays. We'll have some replays submitted by Prom, again, the Korean Protoss. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, something special. We just wrapped up with the PiGosaur Cup matches, but now we have returned with some Duckling viewer replays, and we have some very special replays submitted by Prome. Prome, of course, is a Korean Protoss player, and Prome is usually a little bit more renowned for StarCraft Evolution. If you've been watching some SC Evo, Prome is a lot more prevalent in that game mode, a little bit less so in regular SC2. But Prome did have a very surprising series against Dongre-gu a couple of months ago. This was back in May, back in the end of May, beginning of June. This was during the Esports World Cup EWC Korean qualifiers, and I remember at the time, like, I was casting the qualifier live, but we didn't get to cover the series, and the crazy result came in, very shocking, and I don't think anyone was casting it at the time. But now, a couple of months later, I do remember reaching out to Prome a long time ago, but he eventually did pop up and did actually redeem the replays. Let's go. So I'm ready. I'm excited. I don't really know what to expect. Let's go. Let's jump in. Let us jump in, as game one is going to be on ley lines. Oh boy, as we have a full best of 3 ahead of us. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is Dongre-gu DRG. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the pink Protoss. It is Prome. Here we go again. Prome, he's one of, like, the, do I say next generation of players in Korea? Kind of. I mean, there's a set of players that are just below the pro level. Players like Prome, players like Quanta, players like Honmono, 3Point, Luna C, Stephen Curry, Rebellion. They all come to mind. I would have said that Percival was alongside them, but I think we would all agree, especially in recent times, I would say that Percival has broken out. Like, he's broken free from that group, and I would say that Percival has, at this point, made himself a lot more of a stable kind of entity amongst the Koreans, just because of his better and better results and his stronger showings in recent tournaments. Like, Percival, he showed up in skill very quickly and very heavily this year. It's been impressive to see the growth of Percival. I would say that the others, like Prome, like Quanta, like 3Point, like Homono, they're still kind of getting to that point. They're still, like, leveling up in their own way. But again, as I mentioned, like, Prome, he is a little more active and a little more prevalent over in StarCraft Evolution, more so than StarCraft 2. So I haven't really seen much of Prome in SC2, so I don't really know what to expect from him here. We'll see. For now, going for a standard opener. We'll see if he plays standard. We'll see if he has something more quirky. I do know that he is very fond of mixing in some Rebellion builds. Rebellion, he has some cheeky builds where he goes into, like, Tempest rushes or Mothership rushes or some more quirky styles here and there. Meanwhile, DRG, it's been a while. It's been quite some time since we last casted Dongre-gu. Again, as I mentioned in the lead up to this, he's one of those players that did silently retire at the start of the year. So DRG, he has been playing in less and less. The only things that he's really played in have been GSL qualifiers and EWC qualifiers. That's kind of it. But it is unfortunate there are some other Koreans that did silently retire. Players like DRG, players like Stats, right? Stats, he was at Katowice last year. But again, like, during the off-season of EWC, during the EPT off-season, I should say, like, Stats, he also silently retired. Trap, he also silently retired at the beginning of the year as well. Trap is a little bit different. If you remember, Trap, he was actually playing a lot in January and in February, but coming into March, he kind of fizzled out and he disappeared. That's because Trap, he's a pappy. He's a pappy. I think he has a baby girl. I'm not entirely certain if it's a baby girl or baby boy, but Trap is now a father, started a family. So if you're curious where Trap went, that's where he went. Has a family. So now, we do have our standard opener, Stargate out of Prome. Oh, and yeah. If you remember, I spoke about how Prome, he likes to mix in some of the Rebellion builds, Stargate into Fleet Beacon. This could be one of two things. Either we're rushing into Tempest or we're rushing into a Mothership. This could be a Mothership rush to recall into the main. This is something that some of the other, like, semi-pro Koreans have been mixing in, but no, second Stargate. We're going into what should be either a Tempest rush or a Carrier rush. Okay. Yeah, my attention. Now, if you remember, Classic, he popularized a variation of this where you open up, I believe Classic variation is that you open up single Stargate, you make one Tempest, then you get a second, and I think you cap out at 2 or 3. Then you send it, you reveal your Tempest, and then you hard switch into Massblink Stalker, into a ground army instead. And you force the Zerg player to overinvest into Corruptors, to overinvest into the Spire, and then bam, you catch him out with a ground army instead. But this is a bigger commitment into straight up just Tempest. Tectonic destabilizers on the way. Temps are amassing. We do see DRG going for a faster lair. It's a 420 lair timing. They move in, they get us around, they do catch out one of the Adepts. Going for the other as well, not bad. Yeah, killing the Probe, delaying the third base. This is nice damage from DRG, killing both Adepts. The Probe delays the third expansion, but little does DRG know, Tempest. We already have 2, soon to be 4. And we're banking them up. We're banking them up in the main base. The Overlord was hunted down. Yeah, the Overlord was hunted down earlier. Overlord did fall. And DRG is droning, he's saturating, but he does not really know what's going on yet. Oh, good, going for the Spire though. Okay. Blindly going for the Spire. He could just be going to, he could just be planning to go into Mutaplay. Tempest move out. And Tempest are revealed. Tempest are revealed here to the Roaches. Now Cheeky knows 100%. He's fully aware of what's going on. Catching up the Roaches, and we're going for it. But this was a really big investment. If you remember what I said at the start of the game, Classic has a build where you go into, you wanna go up to like 3 Tempests and then bam, switch into Ground Toss with Blink Stalkers. That's what's happening here, but it was a much bigger investment into 5 Tempests with Tectonic Destabilizers. Again, like, this is a really big investment here from Prome before switching into Ground Toss. So the Ground Toss switch is gonna be a little more awkward. It's gonna be more awkward, more delayed. Tempest at one-shotting Queens. Okay, 1, 2, 3 Queens to go down, getting 4. Queens are falling, Prome supply blocked. There it is, Blink is now on the way. I'll say the Blink was delayed, but is in production. And again, the plan here is that you want DRG to make too many Corruptors. You want him to overinvest. Kills all the Queens, takes down the expansion. Ay. I mean, we have 11 Corruptors on the way, but these Tempests, they couldn't even kill the lair. Yeah, they're going for the lair. Kills another Queen. 2 more bullies. 1 more bully, I believe. Oh, what a mass. He gets it. Lair goes down, recalls back home, and how many Corruptors do we have? 9, soon to be 11 Corruptors. And here comes the ground switch. You can see here a mass Blink Stalker on 2 bases, and this is meant to end the game. This is meant to end the game. And again, this is a variation of what Classic was up to. I say variation because, again, this was a much more, again, bigger investment, bigger commitment into Tempest. But there are so many Stalkers. I feel like Prome doesn't even have to worry about the Corruptors. We can just go. Just go, bad. Send it. Soldiers at home to defend. Yeah, they do focus on the Corruptors. Roach Warren's going to be going down. And the boys are being pulled. DRG getting desperate. Ay. He's getting desperate back. And again, this is a nasty build. As with that, so the roaches go down, the ravagers go down. And DRG, he lost his roach one. He can't make any more roaches. GG gets called, cannot produce any roaches, and Prome will take a 1-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. Again, we have the Rebellion builds coming out with the double Stargate, Mass Tempest, getting into 5 Tempest, then switching into 2-base Stalker all-in. Very aggressive, very cheeky. Again, the goal there is to deny vision, to make sure the Zerg player does not know what you're making behind it. But because there are so many Tempests, because we build up to 5 Tempests, like there's a greater reason, the greater rationale for the Zerg player to actually invest quite heavily into Corruptors there, and less so into a ground army. Just because there are so many Tempests with this variation of the build, I should say. So GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, DRG, he did not realize what was going on until it was too late. And with that, Prome takes a lead. Let's go. Does take a lead in the series. And now we're going to be loading into game 2. Going to be loading into Tokamak. Feels like this build is impossible to beat as Zerg without Scout. Kind of. So you can beat it without a Scout if you read your opponent and if you just make the assumption that it's going to be a ground switch. This is something that happened like 2 years ago. If you remember, Classic was popularizing this build back in the Alcyone map pool. Again, this was around 2 years ago, like November GSL of 2024, I want to say. But because he was doing it so often, and because it was so prevalent, basically, whenever Tempest were revealed and a Tempest Rush was revealed in the Korean scene, Korean Zerg players would just assume that you're going into a ground switch behind it. Like, they would just make that assumption, even without scouting. So you can like that can be in the back of your mind as well. But it's been a long time since that build has kind of been prevalent. So yeah, it's something that that can catch you off guard, 100%. Here we go. Here we go. We're now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg down in the series. We'll see if you can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is a DRG. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself from South Korea, leading the series 1-0. It is a Prome. Go. But yeah, back when that kind of style was more prevalent, Zerg players would make minimal Corruptors, rely a little bit more on making more Queens, and then focusing on a Roach-based army, right, to have a ground force to work with. They'd go up to like maybe like 5 Corruptors, build up the Queen count, get spores, and build up your Roaches. And your Roaches can also support, because then you can morph in Ravagers as well, right? You can morph in like 5 Ravagers and have them help support against the Tempest. It is brutal. It can be brutal, for sure. Now, we don't expect to see that again, right? We don't really expect to see that again out of Prome. Going for the Cybercore, into Stargate, and then we'll see what cheeky build we have this time. Now, trying to reach into the recesses of my mind when it comes to what Rebellion does, I still stand by, we could see a Stargate into Fleet Beacon into Mothership Rush. True, that's still in the back of my mind. Otherwise, I want to say there's like a charge-based 2-base all-in that they would whip out every now and then as well. Show us what you got. There's the Stargate. For now, Stargate opener. 3rd base not being taken for DRG. That's why I made 5 Tempests. Once they're out, know what the Zerg does. Yeah, that's true. Like, that's... Like, the difference is that when Classic would do this, he would stop it around like 2 or 3 Tempests to force the overreaction, and then go for a faster switch into ground. But yeah, getting up to 5 is brutal. Because he was one-shotting Queens. Remember, like, that was crazy. One-shotting all the Queens. Okay, a Void Ray opener. Yeah, my attention. With the Void Ray, the goal is to hunt down this Overlord is to deny vision. Deny vision, deny scouting. As the Void Ray is on the way, DRG making a massive surge of Lings behind this. Void Ray wants to get into Fleet Beacon though. Okay. Ooh, that's really rough for DRG. So a couple things are happening. One, Prome, he's going to be secure on 2 bases. 2, DRG is making 18 Lings. And what's the purpose of these Zerglings? To deny the third. The problem though is because we're going for this Fleet Beacon, into Fast Forge, there is no third base. So these Lings could have been drones. This is a big investment from DRG, which should not pay off. Meanwhile, the Fast Forge, in my mind, this looks like the classic build. This looks like we're not getting a second Stargate. We make like 1 Tempest, 1, 2 Tempest, then you go into +1, then you switch into Ground Toss a lot faster instead. But we'll see. Oh no, the Lings! Yeah, Lings, they do get in. That should not have happened. They dual Tempest around. And they will clean up all these Adepts. Do we get a Scout? Do we get into the main base? The wall is still open. Voids are being pulled. Lings, they do step in. And they get a full Scout. They confirm the Stargate, the Fleet Beacon, and the Forge as well. And again, these Lings, they should have been stopped at the wall, but alas, they were not. And what's the plan? So Prome, he does go for his Gateway Explosion. Again, it's going for, I believe this, yeah, going for the Mothership and going for what should be Sentries. Sentries, Zealots. Oh boy, Mothership Rush. Now, if you remember, what does a Mothership Rush mean? It means recall into the main. You recall into the main base with your ground army. And there was a time a couple of years ago where this was very prevalent, where you would recall with sentries and then you'd force field the ramp, right? You'd force field the ramp. What was the name of the map? Oh god, it was before the Alkyone map pool, like 2022-ish era of StarCraft. 22, 23, like around then. This style was much more prevalent. Well, this build was much more prevalent. I remember MaxPax doing this. As the Mothership is soon to arrive, we're building up the army. Now, a couple of things here. If DRG isn't in the main base in time for the recall, the game can end. I say can end. If DRG has Ravagers, he can bile, of course. He can bile the force fields and he can still break into the main. But if he doesn't have Ravagers ready, then this can be brutal because here comes our Mothership. Mothership is coming, sentries are warping in, and you can see we're getting ready for the recall. Now, based on what DRG saw, he saw the Gateway Explosion. He should be aware that this is a possibility. Should be. But I don't see any Ravagers. Oh boy. No Ravagers here. Here comes the Mothership. Ah, god, not again. I'm getting like PTSD from 2022. It's happening. Oh no. We're getting ready. Just warping in a couple of extra Stalkers. There it is. +1 is done. There's a recall. Yeah, recalls into the main, and he's rushing to the ramp. Ravagers do start morphing in. He's rushing towards the ramp. He needs that force field. Can he force field the ramp in time? He's coming. Ah, there it is. Mass Ravager morphing in. Cashing out all the Queens. Yeah, Queens go down. DRG, he's locked out of his main. There's the first mile. But he's pushing up a ramp into a concave. Yeah, force fields continue. DRG trying to force his way through. He's getting in. Oh, he's trying to at least. Slow zone on the ramp as well. Oof. Oh, God. There's a changeling. The change is not helping. The slow zones on the ramp. Still more force fields, catching up more roaches. And you can see here the probe ride. We're going for the slow warp. His Nexus. Oh, he's clouding. Warping into the main base with the pylon. He recalled the probe. And with that probe, he will stay out of control. He will take it. Yeah, DRG, unfortunately, he did not read the Mothership coming into his main base. There was nothing to scout the Mothership either. And again, here come the warp-ins directly into the main. And DRG is going for the base trade. At this point, he's going for the... But it's just so late. It's such a late base trade for DRG. Such a late realization. The main base has been shut down. And what's scary, Prome can always recall. He can always recall back home, unironically. There it is. He recalls back home. When's the mothership recall? He can recall again. No shot. The mothership can recall again. But ooh, Biles do connect. Okay. Biles are connecting. Some messy engagements here out of Prome. Zells are trading well. Running out of roaches. Main army pushing in, takes down the roach warren. And again, Probe, he still has a standing army. An army that DRG can never fight. Getting to the main. I mean, he's killing a lot of probes, true. Killing a lot of workers. DRG making the best out of this situation. Does reset the mineral line. Up! Was targeting the hatchery. The move command! Yeah, some brutal movement there, though. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. Does move command in. The army takes a lot of hits. Prome down to 4 probes. Well, 3 probes left, Pat. 3 probes left. I believe one of them is in the main. Yeah, there. He's hunting down more bases. Drones did survive, and DRG, he is double expanding. He's taking more bases. The roaches are destroying buildings. Prome, what's the call? Do we race back home? Yeah, mothership. The mothership's racing back home. The mothership has a recall. Natural goes down. The main base is under fire. We should soon be recalling. I mean, technically the mothership will kill everything by itself. Nothing shoots up, right? Like, nothing shoots up. Oh no, Pro, he finds it! Yeah, he finds the base, he finds the mineral line. All the drones are here. No! Ooh, gets force shielded in. One drone escapes. Get out of here. Drone gets out. I believe there's still some workers left over yet. Here in the center as well. And there's the recall. There's the recall back home. Slows and lock him in. GG gets called, and Prome, he will take the series 2-0, taking down a DRG. GG. Oh no. Prome, you're an animal, Pop. You're an animal. GG, well played. 2 very hyper-specific builds back-to-back. In Game 1, we saw the double Stargate Tempest Rush into a 2-base Blinkstalker all-in. Meanwhile, here in Game 2, we saw the initial Mothership Rush into a ground army, recall into the main base, force field the ramp. Unfortunately, DRG, he wasn't ready with the Ravagers initially. He had to wait for them to morph in, and he also attempted to go up that ramp, but the ramp is so narrow going into the main base. He was caught pushing up into a concave and pushing through slow zones, force fields. In the end, he realized that he just couldn't do it, but it took a long time for that to happen. He bled out a lot of supply, trying to push up into his own main base. The attempted base trade was very late, was very delayed because of that, because he spent so much time initially trying to fight for his main. Trying to and failing to fight for his main base. So unfortunate position there for DRG. If he had gone for the base trade sooner, then maybe a different story. Maybe he kills all the buildings. Maybe he saves more of his own hatcheries and he forces a different kind of game state, but alas, he did try to fight for his main initially, and it wasn't quite worth it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Cheeky builds here from Prome. Very cheeky. And that is how Prome took down DRG. And fun fact, that is the last time that DRG has played and competed in a StarCraft 2 tournament. Fun fact. Este Prome. Hold on. Hold on. Bam. So you can see here, this is DRG's Wikipedia page, and these are the last matches he played. This is here, May 31st. Can I zoom in? Yeah, May 31st. EWC Korean qualifier here, May 31st. What's that? DRG versus Prone. that is the last time that DRG competed in StarCraft 2 was a couple of months ago when he did lose to Prone. Smurge, baby Smurge. But as I was saying before, this year, like DRG, he's only really played, as you can see, in the GSL qualifiers and in EWC qualifiers. So just in the qualifiers. He hasn't really been active. You can see actually for this is the entirety of 2025 for DRG. It is GSL Season 1, GSL Season 2, and EWC qualifier. There was one invitational here where DRG was invited into Super 7 where he played against SOS. But yeah, DRG, he's again basically silently retired, which is a bit of a shame. Like DRG, big fan, you know, much love to DRG. He's been around for a very, very long time. But nowadays, as you can see, he only really plays in qualifiers just to, like, you know, jump in and to hang out. But GG, well played. Much love to DRG, and I'm hoping that we get to see more of him. I'm hoping that that is not the last series that he plays and competes in StarCraft 2. Hoping that isn't the case. As of right now, that's how it stands. Prime ended that guy's career. I mean, maybe that's the thing. Like, I hope that's not the case. I hope that that DRG comes back to us. I hope that isn't the straw that broke the camel's back for Dongmeigu. Smurge, baby Smurge. I see Matt in the chat. What did I just witness? Oh no, Matt, look away, baby, look away. Oh no. Fields Protoss, man. Fields Protoss. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, these were replays redeemed by Prome himself. Prome did drop by in the chat, did redeem those replays. I'm sure he just wanted someone to cover those matches, and I see now why. I see why he wanted those games to be casted. But with that, congratulations shout out to Prome for claiming that series, and congratulations to Solar for winning PiGosaur Cup as well. As you can see, our schedule this week was a little bit lighter, just because we were live once a day instead of twice a day. This upcoming week, we should have a bit of a more intense schedule. Tomorrow is going to be Wardy TV Monday, true. So we have Wardy TV Monday tomorrow. The day after that, we have the OSC League Rising Star and Tuna Cup, the Invitational. Then we have PiGosaur Cup on Wednesday, Lil League Cup on Wednesday. We have, the Starfest qualifiers, true. We have the Starfest qualifiers over the weekend as well, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I just realized SC2 Safe House is this weekend as well. Jesus. All the qualifiers, so SC2 Safe House and Starfest. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft in the coming weeks, and of course we'll do our best to bring that to you here and now. Do our best, man. Do our best. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more StarCraft, if you want to tune into something that you can't watch live just because it doesn't line up time zone wise, then check us out over on YouTube. Exclamation mark YouTube in the chat, and you'll get a link to our YouTube channel. So you can check out our YouTube channel, as all the VODs are uploaded on a daily basis. Likewise, you can also support us on Patreon as well. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments. So thank you so much to all of our supporters on Patreon. We actually just got some new supporters on Patreon a couple of days ago, and you can see that we're almost at 550 USD a month. Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate it. Again, currently 100% of that money goes towards prize pools for our tournaments, and I'd love to have our tournaments grow even further to be able to produce monthly finals on a regular basis. So thank you so much. Yeah. GG, well played. Otherwise, if you want something else to tune into, I do recommend checking out our TLMC 21 analysis. For those who are unaware, I was one of the judges. I was one of the judges for the Team Liquid map contest, and for the first time, it was definitely an experience that I did go through. And the results, of course, are public. Voting will soon be available for the TLMC map contest. And if you want maybe a little bit of insight, if you want like a sneak peek as to how my thought process going into judging maps, what I was looking for, what I wasn't looking for, my experience, and how everything works, then we did actually make a stream 2 days ago. So you can check it out. I'm going to be posting it in the chat. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then bam, the VOD is there. The VOD is available. And voting will be open soon for the new map pool, for the new StarCraft 2 ladder map pool. So do consider checking that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow in less than 24 hours for the Wardy TV Monday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.